What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. There was a live today that got interrupted with a fire alarm. That's definitely a first, but after the two lives had finished, we got ourselves some patch notes for Year 7 Season 2 for the PTS that is coming tomorrow. That'll run all the way through until Monday. So you know me, we're going to talk about it, so don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And let's get straight into it. Right, these are some lengthy patch notes. I've not even finished going through them and I decided to just make the video. I do want to do a video kind of covering stuff from the live, so there is going to be some overlap. I'm not going to go through this word for word. I mean, if you wanted me to do that, you could just read them yourself. So I'm going to kind of skim through a little bit, shorten some stuff, give some opinions, and then we'll see it live tomorrow where we can make some much more detailed videos, especially around the new stuff that's coming to the game, like the gear and retaliation and things like that. So with all that said, let's get ourselves started. So if you're going to update the PTS, it's going to be 17 gig. If you're going to download it from brand new, it's going to be 100 gigs. So the game is steadily getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I've not yet downloaded it, but if you just need to check, I restarted my launcher and as you can see, it's already updated and the PTS is available to download. It's only going to be on Ubi Connect. If you own it on Steam, unfortunately, you don't get access. We get a little bit longer with this PTS. I guess that's because the game, the PTS is pretty stacked. We get from tomorrow from 2 p.m. CEST, which is 1 p.m. if you're in the UK, all the way through to Monday at the usual time. Then they talked a little bit and showed us some gameplay for Retaliation in the live today. And basically, it's a whole new system where you can choose to take over an area. There's no fast traveling, and you've kind of got to, take all the control points as quickly as you possibly can. There's a few side dishes to this as well, in the fact that there'll be, I can't remember what they called them. They're not hunters, but there's like these special squads that will come, and you can choose to take them on or not. But the key thing about these squads are that if you wipe them out, you can get what you need to do exotic blueprints crafted, or exotic crafting that is coming to the game with this feature. This is going to be a permanent feature. They have attached this season to it with all the modifiers, but as these modifiers will come and go like they do every season, Retaliation will stay forever, and it works on all the maps, which is quite a nice surprise. And basically you get a little bit of time, and the more you do within the Retaliation area of the map, you get more time and better rewards. And as you can see here, depending on how far you get through, just like the control points have their alert level, it goes up from normal, hard, challenging to heroic. So yeah, pretty cool. Definitely nice to have something extra to do in the open world. Hopefully it has some legs and it turns out to be pretty good for replayability. But then they talk about here the targeted exotic farming. So it says here, with Retaliation, you have a new way to farm exotic items more directly than ever before. Each faction has its own unique pool of exotic blueprints, and you can work towards these in multiple ways. And then doing the retaliations will give you the materials needed to do said crafting as well. So yeah, pretty good. So it says here, you can craft exotics by using exotic components together with the Retaliation specific materials. These materials have unique names and visual themed to the faction they come from. So yeah, that is they're pretty good. Then there was this other thing they talked about. If you want to be more flexible in what you craft, you can use the crafting bench to convert these materials into broken SHD watches. These can be exchanged for Retaliation materials from other factions, allowing you to work towards exotics outside the faction you are currently facing. And to be honest, that sounds like a two-step process. So say I go and fight a load of True Sons and I want to, I don't know, let's look at it here. So say I fight a load of True Sons and I want a load of hyena materials. I think it should just be a straight swap, right? having to convert them to broken SHD materials to then convert them to hyena just seems like a bit of an extra step. But I mean, we've not seen it. I don't know. I might be bashing it for, you know, absolutely no reason. Then they talk about maneuvers, which are optional challenges during your retaliation phase. We're not going to get to see this. I don't know why. But yeah, I guess there's something in there they don't want us to see yet. So we're going to move on to the modifiers. And like I said, these are definitely all based around the new Retaliation content. I kind of like that. Last season, they were all based around, you know, Brooklyn being added to the game. This time, they're again based around brand new content to the game. So, I mean, I can't knock them for that. That's a pretty good way of doing things. So, the one thing I didn't talk about with the retaliations is that the enemies will work to take back areas that you have cleared and you have made all green, just like they do generally on the open world map. But this has an effect with the global modifiers this time. So this season global modifier empowers you based on your control over territory. So you get a rate of fire bonus for each named zone that is contested, up to a maximum of 30%. And then you get a rate of fire and a damage bonus for each named zone under complete SHD control, up to a maximum of 30% rate of fire and 30% weapon damage. Now, the rate of fire bonus is significant. It's a lot. But I do wonder how frequent they will retake over, meaning that are we going to end up in a situation doing this more than what we would like to just to maintain these damage bonuses? So that is definitely going to be interesting, and I think that will be a really fine line. Because, you know, if retaliation just becomes a nuisance, people will just not do it, and they'll think, do you know what, I'll just turn these global modifiers off. It's not worth not being able to have this, you know, easy. I mean, essentially, previously we've just had to turn them on, so this is now something, you know, active in the open world. So then we've got the active modifiers that are all based around the factions, and they're all themed around that as well. And these kind of upgrade in different ways. So when they showed these, you can now upgrade them, and you have like an XP. Well, it'll give you like a task to get XP, and you can upgrade the stat for these a little bit different. I guess it's going to add a little bit of longevity to unlocking everything, because obviously they've got the journey as well. So I guess it's going to take us a little bit longer to do that, but I'm not against that. So yeah, I guess that will be pretty good. So let's move on. So you can see here, so the idea behind these was that if you have these modifiers equipped, that it will let you play a little bit like the faction. So the hyenas one is pretty wild. The spiced up one is probably the wildest of them all. So all of your armor is stripped. For the duration of this modifier, you cannot aim down sights or repair armor. In return, each successful hit on an enemy adds a stacking weapon damage bonus and recovers some health. You also gain a boost to health, reload speed, and movement speed. So I guess all of a sudden now we know why all of them health bonuses have been making their way into the game on gear, and none of us have been using them, because all of a sudden now building a health build with probably like a SMG style Hunter's Fury, that's kind of the first thing that comes to my mind. Feels like actually that could actually be pretty good, and maybe feel a little bit like Clutch Berserk did, you know, back in the day. So then you can upgrade it, and then when you get to level 5, you press the input button again, or when the timer ends, you replenish armor proportional to your current health. So yeah, that actually sounds like it could be pretty good, but definitely interesting, and it's definitely going to lean towards builds and stuff and things like that for health related items. Then we've got the True Sons one. You gain your skills gain extra skill tiers, and your signature weapon gain a weapon damage boost against regular enemies. The boost is multiplied by 1.5% against named enemies. Additionally, signature weapon gain rate of fire boost and a reload speed boost. While the effect is active, every reload automatically refills the magazine to full. Kills with the signature weapon or skills add 3 seconds to the modifier's duration. But then level 5 of the max upgrade, Specialization skills are overcharged while the ability is active. Specialization skill. Oh, right, okay. So to me, I'm kind of hoping that can kind of do what Tip of the Spear has always kind of wanted to do, but never quite been able to do it, and make our spec weapons pretty viable. They used to be back in the day, and then they kind of got nerfed because people were one-tapping bosses with them. And obviously we can see that that's still a thing that they're concerned about, because they've lowered the damage against named enemies. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping we can pair that with Tip of the Spear and do something good with the TAC 50. Then we've got the Zealot one. So this is for the Outcasts. On activation, gain 15 stacks of Zealot, each granting weapon damage and damage reduction boost. Already sounds pretty great. After 10 seconds, you will begin losing 1 stack per second, and the stack consumption rate increases every 10 seconds. Eliminating hostiles restores the Zealot stacks. Upon reaching 0 stacks, a damaging EMP explosion is triggered at your location, leaving you at 1 health. All of a sudden, it doesn't sound good. For each enemy hit by the explosion, recover armor and health. I mean, you've got to kill very quickly, but that feels extremely painful. Like, some of these feel extremely aggressive on the part that's going to hurt you. And then for each stack consumed, the MP explosion damage is increased by 2. I don't like the 1 health. Is that also going to strip my armor? I guess we'll see. Strikers say cheese. Blind hostiles in a cone in front of you. Holding a shield when triggering this modifier increases the range and radius of the blinding effect. Eliminated blinded enemies reduces the cooldown of the modifier. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's okay. It's not really offering too much else about, you know, apart from CC, but I mean, that's okay. Not the best, not the best. Then cleaners. I'm hoping this is good. Please be good. Alright. On activation, set enemies within a radius on fire. So far, so good. While the modifier is active, each unique enemy set on fire adds 1 stack of sanitation, which grants extra damage to burning enemies up to a maximum. 2 stacks for each enemy currently burning. Repair armor every second. 3 stacks critical hits inflicting burning on enemies. This is peak. This is peak. Each kill on a burning enemy adds 3 seconds to the duration. That is just easily the best one of not playing and just reading. No downside. Absolutely no downside. Riker's one, I mean, it's okay, but no damage. The Outcast one, I don't know. I just don't see how that's great. I mean, that could be good if you can kill the entire area before it runs out, but True Sons could be okay. Spiced Up sounds like you got to build very, very specifically for it. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I am intrigued by Outcast. I hope it's not as punishing as what it sounds. And then we've got the universal modifiers, which we'll kind of have a quick brief look through. So we've got Stepping Stone, which is an assault. Killing an assault archetype enemy with a headshot instantly refills your magazine with hollow points. Oh, that is nice. So without even running OD, you'll get hollow point. That is I wonder if you get the damage bonus or it'll just make them bleed. Probably just make them bleed, right? Then thrower, anytime a grenade lands within 5 meters of you, it's destroyed automatically. Oh, man. This is what we wanted the gear set to do. So we know they can do it. Then we've got Compromised. While you're in cover, your headshot damage against snipers is increased 100%. I mean, I'm not so keen on that. I mean, I'm struggling with this, right? Because it's again, I get what they're trying to do, but it's against assault type enemies. It's against sniper enemies. So you've got them equipped all of the other time, they're doing nothing. So unless Retaliation has, you know, some kind of, you know, where it only throws assault enemies at you or something like that. I don't know, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, it seems a bit rough. Same here. Breaking a piece of the tank's armor causes all armor pieces to break instantly. I mean, it's situational, right? It's good if you got a lot of tanks, but... And then here for rushers. So, yeah, the universal ones seem like they might be pretty rough. Let's see if we'll use more of the faction-based ones. Shooting a hyena's shield deflects your bullets, dealing 50% damage to each enemy within a radius. So, I mean, we're kind of just going to be, yeah, equipping like faction-based ones depending on what retaliation that we're going to be doing. And that's probably where you're going to get the most damage. I don't really see these universal ones being able to step in. I mean, this is pretty good. You know, breaking the immobilizer's weak point applies foam to all enemies within 20 meters. Breaking the Scorcher's gas canister ignites enemies within 7 meters, and that's really easy to do. So, yeah, it's very fun. Unlike other seasons that have been heavily based on just doing damage to everything, this is now very obviously, you know, for the theme faction based. I'm not sure we're doing enough damage, because I feel like a lot of these are, you know, very, very specific to that moment. Like, you know, you're always going to be fighting hyena. There's always going to be one with a gas canister, but then that's kind of just it. But unless, and you know, and this feel the global modifier definitely feels like a lower return on investment concern to other ones that we've had. So I am just kind of a little bit worried that we are going to feel like a little bit less powerful this season. Maybe that's not a bad thing though, but it's certainly a very different way of doing it. And I hope, you know, and it's very easy to judge it now that it doesn't feel good to play, but until we play it, we won't know. So I don't want to feel like I'm coming down on it too much. It just feels like it's a little bit odd, right? And then you got a whole bunch of other stuff. We've got the hostile ones here. So they get a speed and rate of fire boost that increases over time, if not damaged. So obviously, you know, kind of favoring faster builds, kill quick. Boost damage for nearby enemies and allies, scaling with an ally counts. Grants overheal to the affected enemies. I mean, people hate rages. People are going to hate that. So yeah, so I mean, it could be okay. I'm a little bit skeptical for the moment. I think it will fit in with situations quite well. As far as open world, I mean, it could fit in quite well because you do a mission, you know exactly what you're going to come up against. But I do feel like we will feel, you know, if you've been running with them modifiers on this season, you're probably going to feel less powerful when it comes to these. But then the CC seems pretty good, so the game might feel a little bit easier because, you know, enemies are going to be blinded, enemies are going to be on fire, enemies are going to be, you know, tied up in foam. So yeah, could be pretty good. All right, so let's move on to the gear, weapons, and talents. So we're getting a new exotic marksman rifle, which is a little bit of a hard thing to swallow, because I'm going to say that straight away, because determined is so good. Is this going to be better? Is there going to be a reason to use this, especially now that we have the Tinkerer as well? And my initial impressions without testing are going to be no, because again, it's very based on doing the most damage to the highest ranking enemies within the tier hierarchy, which is going to need for players to become very aware of what archetypes enemies look like within the field of play that you're in at the moment. So, you know, people aren't always, you know, it's not always kind of easy to point out which is a controller, which is a medic. I mean, all right, it probably is for long-term players, but I'm just thinking for shorter-term players that this could be a little bit tricky and you might miss out on doing that damage bonus. But if you do get it down, then 125% amp damage to enemies that you're going to kill in a specific order, if you're fine with that, is going to be a lot of damage, right? So definitely interesting to see how that turns out. Then we've got the Tempest, probably the standout star of the show when it comes to guns, aside from the new content coming to the game. We've got an auto pistol that you can use with a big shield. Now, I love this, right? It looked really cool when Yannick was playing with it, and I'm definitely interested in giving it a go. It's going to be something that I really do want to test. But what's really weird is the gun itself only deals 25% amp damage when your shield gets broken. So if you're going to be using it in a full shield build, well, we kind of don't want our shields to be broken. And we're talking differences here between PvP and PvE. You know, we have the horrible stagger animation that I really don't feel that PvE needs. I'm just wondering that if we're going to get a really cool exotic pistol, and there's going to be so many things like, oh, my shield never gets broke because I'm using it on a build where I've got a ton of shield regeneration, or, you know, I'm kind of forced to keep the shield out and not being able to maneuver with it in and out because I want the damage bonus. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping it's better than what it, you know, than what I feel like it's going to be. But I just kind of feel like there should be something else given this modifier to cause this to happen rather than the shield getting broken. I think it should encourage the shield not to be broken. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. And then we've got the opposite, the opposites, the shroud, the exotic gloves, and I kind of guess that they're hoping that you wear both of these because it amplifies weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemy within the tier. So it'll be interesting to see what the stats are on this, if it's headshot damage or not. But it kind of feels like they could go well together because, you know, if you do get the order wrong, you're still going to get 30% amp. So yeah, pretty interesting. We got ourselves a new skill set, I guess. But what's crazy about this set is it gets 30% MMR damage. Unlike Lengmo, I don't think like this is going to make any waves in the sniper world. We've got so much sniper stuff, you know, and Hotshot's very good. So I guess we'll see, but I really don't see that this is going to make many waves in either skill or the marksman rifle world. And then we get perfect protected reload, which is not something I ever really use. But the named holster has a 38% accuracy perfect attribute on. Again, I don't really see myself using this, but I will give it a try and, you know, see if we can slide it in anywhere. And now the gear set that I think actually might turn out to be the shining star of this patch. The tipping scale. So it comes with 30% mag size for 2-piece. Then we get 30% LMG damage. Like, holy smokes. That is great. Considering 3 Lengmo was the last time we got 30% LMG damage. Yeah, this is going to be pretty wild. And I'm starting to begin to wonder, is that a Lengmo build mixed with tipping scales and maybe a ninja bike? Ninja bike does tend to nerf sets, but having the fact that of 30% LMG damage bonuses on 2 sets along with mag size on an LMG, like, I feel like all of a sudden this could be really good. Like, really good. It's just going to be a shame that we're not going to be able to fit the Tinkerer in at the same time. But shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. Each stack provides 0.5% weapon handling, but then also 2% critical hit damage. Winner, chicken dinner. We lose 6 stacks per second while not shooting. No stacks are lost if the enemy is suppressed. Interesting to see if you still lose stacks if somebody else suppresses the enemy. But then the chest and the backpack talent. So the chest increases the maximum number of stacks from 50 to 75. So I mean, 75 times by 2 is 150% critical hit damage we can get from this set, which is pretty crazy. But you can, you know, double down on that. If we're not using the ninja bike, increase critical hit damage received per stack from 2 to 4. So like 75 stacks times by 4 is 300% critical hit damage. That's wild. That is wild. I'm really interested to see how good this works out, and if the losing stacks turns out to be a heartbreaker situation where it's just a little bit rough. But I mean, I probably wouldn't want to run the backpack. I probably want to. There's just damage calculations to do here, right? Because, you know, is it going to be worth running the ninja bike? How often are stacks above 50% in heroic content? How, you know, are stacks high enough in legendary content to, you know, to kind of, you know, justify, you know, this damage boost? So yeah, it's definitely some good stuff there. I think that could end up being great. I'm definitely excited to try it. A USC 45 with perfect soft spot. I mean, it is a soft spot because the gun is trash. And I don't think anybody will ever use this talent. I mean, 24% weapon damage just for breaking a weak point. I mean, yeah, alright, not for me. The custom M44 as well. And then the regular version at 19%. I mean, just other gun talents are just better and more consistent. And then the crazy thing has finally happened. The maximum expertise level has been set to 30. So this change ensures you don't outpace the challenge level the game currently offers, provides a clear upper limit for your gear power level, and makes it easier to invest in a wider variety of items, allowing you to explore different playstyles and engage with the game in new ways. So yeah, I think a lot of people will be happy about that. Expertise for PvP has been wild for a while. It does put a cap on it. It doesn't really solve any issues that it's got, but it does kind of stop things getting worse. And then we've got all modifiers unlocked from the start in the PTS, which is great. Adam will have a bunch of caches as always. So he's gonna have. Yeah, so we're getting the climax exclusive in this cache as well, which is the gun. All the blueprints, respective materials. Then all the blueprints, materials, journey caches. And Anaya's going to have 12 conversion blueprints for retaliation materials. And the NY Kill Squad cache blueprint. And that's going to be it. So a pretty wild PTS. Definitely a lot to check out and a lot to do. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What have been your highlights? What have been your lowlights? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the very long video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.